Welcome back, everybody, to the Purple Menace podcast. Jeff Craig, Billy Wessels, Matt Jennings, and BJ Catalon here with you on another Tuesday, talking TCU football. And a wonderful Tuesday this is. It could have been a terrible Tuesday, but it is not. It is a wonderful Tuesday because TCU is still 4-0. Guys, how are we doing today?
We're doing good.
Doing great.
It was an insane game on Saturday, and I think all of us probably shaved about 5 years off our lives.
I liked Billy's tweet because those of you that don't know, the context of Billy's tweet made it even better.
Yeah.
Billy used to be really, really big.
Real fat.
And so his tweet was, 4 years ago, I have a heart attack and die from this game.
Yeah. So if you don't know, I used to weigh 485 pounds, and now I'm a brisk 260. Yeah, so I could have easily croaked on Saturday watching that game. I felt like I was going to anyway, how insane that game was. By the way, GoFundMe.com/Billy Skin Removal. I haven't plugged in a couple of weeks, but I'm still trying to get some money for my surgery. So that's a seamless transition.
Yeah, we should probably do a GoFundMe for our polos, too. Or you can just go to purplemenacepodcast.podomatic.com and hit the little PayPal button and donate some money to us, and we get some polos made.
Straight cash, homie.
That'd be pretty
so
sweet.
we can look more professional.
Yeah, we'll look good for this audio medium that we do.
Well, I take pictures and post them and stuff. I'll make sure.
You haven't done that in a while.
I'm going to do one today. I forgot we were working on some things.
All right.
We're running a little behind today.
All right.
We were late for our guest beat us here.
So, yeah. BJ did get here. He's fast. Everyone kind of knows him for being pretty shifty and quick and agile. So
here's what we're going to talk about.
So are we talking about Aaron Green? Is that coming up now? And how he's amazing, but not quite Jesus level?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, see, the context again, you got to go to tcu.rivals.com to understand the context of Billy's last comment of Aaron Green equals Jesus was the name of his post after the game.
Because I was freaking out. I didn't know what to do. My head was going one place, my fingers were going another, and I posted Aaron Green equals Jesus, and some people did not appreciate that. They called it sacrilegious. So I changed it to Aaron Green equals amazing.
That's better.
That's
just true.
Yeah.
That's better.
You can go with that one.
I can go with that one, BJ.
Yeah,
BJ
a few people told me, called him Little Jesus on Saturday. So so I started calling him Little Jesus for a few,
But see, apparently I'm not the only one that was doing that.
Because, he was, baptized.
He's crazy religious. He's
River.
Really into that, yeah.
So, he's been over there and done a lot of things. So, little Jesus, isn't far-fetched.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He was the savior on Saturday, that's for sure.
See? For sure.
Yeah, let's hope the same thing doesn't happen to Aaron Green.
Way to bring it down.
Yeah. I mean,
I guess
comedy is tragedy plus time. I guess 2015 years or so is pretty.
Yeah, is it
pretty
too
good
soon?
amount of time? I don't think it's too soon.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, so here's what we're actually going to talk about today. We are going to talk about Aaron Green. We're going to talk about Josh Doxson. We're going to talk about Lubbock, Texas, and tortillas and water bottles. We're going to talk to BJ about what it's like to be in a crazy game against Texas Tech because he's been there before. And we're going to talk about recruiting. We're going to jump back in that. Big commitment. And we know how recruiting goes. You never know. But big name, a position of need. We'll talk about that. And then we'll preview this coming game, homecoming, this Saturday, 11 a.m. against UT. You guys down for that?
Sounds good. Let's go for it.
All of it.
Okay, hopefully the listeners like it. We'll be right back talking Texas Tech on the Purple Menace podcast.
Multiple sclerosis destroys connection, so it's only fitting that connection would be its greatest enemy, because connection takes away MS's ability to isolate, and as more connections form, we end up with more knowledge, more resources, more understanding, more ideas, and more hope. And then, the connections we make become more powerful than the connections MS destroys. MS kills connection. Connection kills MS. Give what you know at msconnection.org.
Welcome back to the Purple Menace podcast. Jeff Craig, Billy Wessels, Matt Jennings, BJ Catalon, talking Texas Tech at TCU football. That was an amazing game. For just sheer entertainment value, absolutely amazing. For a fan of either school, it was either exhilarating or gut-wrenching. depending on which side you were on.
Absolutely. And it was terrifying for both sides, probably at one point or another over the course of that game. Both teams really I mean, this is cliche, but given that they're all putting it all out there, Pat Mahomes gets hurt, Todd Sleener gets hurt. Like, you have this war of attrition going on both sides. But, I mean, both teams giving it everything they've got. And it was a really entertaining game. It was back and forth. It was, a really, really hotly contested game. And TCU ends up coming out there at the end with the win. And I think that speaks to the leadership from the few veterans that are left on this TCU team that's been decimated by injuries so far.
Absolutely. And I know Billy wants to really get to Aaron Green, so let me set this up real quick because if you didn't, like me, I didn't get to watch the game. I was at a birthday party, and so I didn't watch the game. The only part of the game that I heard was the last 2.5 minutes of the game. So, I heard the great stuff.
It was a good 2.5 minutes to listen to.
If you've never listened to a TCU broadcast here on 88.7, where we do our show from, the TCU home, Brian Estridge is one of the best at doing play-by-play. So here is 4th down, TCU against Texas Tech.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, if you don't get goosefrumps from this, goosefrumps, you don't get goosefrumps from R.L. Stein's books. Yeah, Brian Estridge with the call.
Justice Nelson is maxed up on Josh Dotson to the right. Nelson is 6'2", the big defender on Dotson. 5 wides for TCU. 4th and goal to the 4. Comes down to this play. Trevon Boykin out of the shotgun, takes the snap. Rolling, looks right, throws it too high. Oh, it was called on the back end. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He hauled it in. Dotson tipped it in the air. Aaron Green hauled it in. Got a foot down, and they say touchdown.
I just did. Just listen again. I do have the goosebumps all over my cargo short plaited legs and my arms. 0.94 seconds. According, who knows if my stoppage is close to right, but between the tip and the catch, he got it or whatever it was his call was. Like, you don't realize how long a second is until something like that happens. Like, I don't know. I just realized your reaction, like, because everyone saw the play who was watching the game, saw the tip, had some kind of a visceral reaction, and then they saw the catch, and then somewhere in that 0.8 to 0.9 seconds, everyone freaked out and died and came back to life and then screamed, I'm sure.
Yeah, and if you get on Twitter and just watch people's reactions, I mean, there's some really great ones of, like, some bros down at Baylor watching the game just lose their mind when
hilarious.
Aaron, because they're like, yeah, no, and then, they all probably just went and ate some crackers.
I was at a very small, very classy wine bar on Magnolia, and I just saw the pass. It goes up, it goes tips. I just go, oh, and then I see Aaron run by. Kids go, like, oh my god! Like, just like, oh my god! Just like just loud in the entire play. I was the only one yelling. No one else was paying attention. I'm like, no one else saw the game. No one's watching. I'll just keep sipping my wine with my pinky out.
So BJ, what was it for you? I mean, watching that game, seeing all that happen, knowing, like, because you got the close connection. Those are your teammates out there. Like,
well, actually, like you said, I saw the whole game up until the start of the 4th quarter. So I left, and I'm watching, looking at the the updates on my phone or whatever, and it's down to probably the last few seconds in the game, the last snap, and I'm just sitting there driving, praying, we got to score. We're right there. And I'm following, Aaron got 2 carries. They stopped the short to the 3, and then Trevon, I guess I didn't see the play, but I know it was a negative 1 yard gain, and then I'm like, here we are. Next thing I know, I see 4-yard reception, touchdown, Aaron Green, the game's over, and I'm thrilled, I'm excited. But I didn't know how it happened. I didn't know how it happened. I thought, maybe just tossed it to him in the end zone. Then when I finally get a chance to see the play, people are texting me like, did you see how TCU won, Aaron? You saw that? I was like, no, I didn't get to see it. So I finally got to see the video, and it was crazy. It was very exciting. It was crazy exciting because, that whole game, of course, Tech, they wanted to come. We were in their house, and they wanted to embarrass us because they came here and got embarrassed last year. And for them, I think it was really real meaningful to try to beat TCU in that game. And of course, TCU, the number 4 team, that would have just made it all the better for them to win that game. But like Matt said earlier, the few veterans that we had and the veterans that they stepped up and definitely played like it that game. Josh Dotson, Aaron Green, and Boykin, all of those guys on offense, they definitely played like it.
So how tough is it to play in Lubbock? Like, what is that atmosphere on the field like compared to? Because we've seen there's a ton of videos. Again, there's tons of videos of like fans out there, TCU fans. It was pretty hostile for them. I mean, there's constantly like Tech fans screaming at them and yelling at them. But we knew about the tortilla things, but there was like water bottles being thrown and all that. What's it like playing in Lubbock?
Lubbock is pretty crazy. It's out there in the middle of who knows where. So but Lubbock's it's a crazy environment to play in, and we had this conversation not too long ago because we were talking about who do we think is a bigger rival out of us and Tech or us and Baylor, and of course I thought Baylor, but Tech that's a great rivalry that we're starting to build on too as well, because every year we played them up until last year. It's been close deciding games, and just going down there and playing in Lubbock. I remember my sophomore year, it was a night game. And in Lubbock, like you said, throwing water bottles. They had a fox come run out on the field. They had all type of things happen, tortillas. And so, I mean, it's a hostile environment, and it's real loud. It's hard to hear. I know it was hard. I know for some of the linemen, I talked to them after this past game. They said a lot of the plays that they just blocked the man because they couldn't even hear the center, who's two guys over there next to him. So it's a real hostile environment, and it's a place where where home field advantage definitely, takes its course.
Weird stuff seems to happen out there. Like, he mentioned the Fox stuff and everything else like that. But, like, everyone watched most of the game anyway. That fumble, that was not a forward pass, right? Like,
no,
can we all agree that was for sure a fumble?
Everything that I've seen after the fact was like, Mike Pereira, who's like the Fox aficionado. He was saying, no, that's the empty hand rule.
Yeah.
Like, the ball was coming out. Officials
that should have been
mistakes,
a fumble, and I still don't think Boykin caught that 2-point conversion. I think that was ground.
That was the
for
makeup
sure.
call.
I think.
But
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
It looked like, to me, I said the same thing, but to me it looked like he might have grabbed it.
I think it hit some ground though. Even
okay.
with how that goes, I mean, you got to touch if it touches the ground, like pretty much at all.
Your hand has to be controlling it.
Yeah, I don't think that should have been a catch. I mean,
I thought it was. I tweeted at the time too. I said that's a makeup call, but TCU will totally take it.
Yeah, they still would have been up one.
Yeah, though it would.
Yeah, the play didn't really matter. That play didn't really matter. The fumble could have mattered.
Right, because the ball was recovered inside the 30 or inside the 35, if I'm not mistaken, and that's should
have been in field goal range.
You're already in field goal range, and you're not too close that Jaden's going to miss it. It's far enough out that he usually hits those. Or you get a chance to drive in and get a touchdown, and so that could be a swing in the game. But ultimately, you can't blame things like that. You can't, TCU did a good job being mature, and for the most part, at least during that game, and kind of overcoming some things that maybe they didn't agree with the officiating in some instances, and they came out and they took care of what they could control, and they got out of there with a win.
And you had Caraway get the two ugly
I didn't understand
touch.
that.
One of them was blatant. The other one was real ticky tacky. I felt like on the not pass interference, but the roughing the quarterback, roughing the passer calls.
Well, I mean, this is the same environment where 2 years ago, Coach Patterson comes out, the following week after the game and says the Big 12 kind of came to him and apologized for what I think it was a dozen. I think it was 12 different calls that were either called incorrectly or weren't called that should have been called and things like that. And that was the same game where, Brandon Carter got
not the halo,
said it was a fair catch. When there was some dispute about whether or not that I kind of got, but then there were like some turnovers that should have gone TCU's way, but then didn't. Different things like that. They fumble at the 1 yard line, and then they just get the ball back because it was just
that should have been a touchback.
It was really just a strange kind of.
It's gonna be worse for you having played in that.
Yeah, it was kind of strange just because, like he said, just all the turnovers and all the penalties that we didn't get and that they did, and like you said, they drive down there, they fumble the ball on the goal line, it goes out the back of the end zone. It should be our ball, you know, and they get the ball back. So, I mean, it's pretty tough playing down there in Lubbock, and we knew it was going to be tough. I knew it was going to be tough for them going down there this year just because of, TCU has a target on their back now, and I knew it would be tough just because of the way the game was last year. And like I said, us and Tech are starting to build that rivalry, and I knew they would come out and pretty much give us everything they got. And they looked pretty good on offense, themselves, and defense. I mean, they looked okay.
Texas Tech definitely no slouch coming into this game. 3-0. I think definitely should have been ranked heading into the game.
Yeah.
Certainly ahead of like Auburn, that was still ranked like 25th or 24th coming into last week, and they were able to really move the ball effectively against this TCU defense. Still dealing with stuff, but that's a quality win on the road in a place that's difficult to play against a team that always gets up for its biggest home game of the year. So you got to give TCU a lot of credit for coming out with the win there.
I definitely give them credit. It was a fantastic game. I hope we don't have another game like that the rest of my life. Not just this year. Between Baylor last year and that Tech game this year,
is crazy.
I'm like 55 years old now.
You're already like 53, so it's not.
I
that
know.
big of a
I
difference.
didn't add a whole lot to my age, but it added some. So
I just feel bad for Tech because Tech now has to turn around and play Baylor this week. That's a rough back-to-back, and apparently
Yeah, I agree.
TCU hurt Mahomes, and maybe their top receiver could be battling some injuries too. So, I mean, don't be surprised if Baylor goes and rolls Tech, which that should be no indictment on how decent of a team Tech is this year. It's just the
and it's
unfortunate
neutral
scheduling.
field.
Yeah, I still don't like that. Why doesn't Baylor have to go to Lubbock? Lubbock's a weird place to play, and they haven't been there in years.
Baylor gets.
It doesn't make
they
sense.
get some special treatment. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, it's been happening since 1996. R.I.P. Ann Richards. All right, we'll be back with more Purple Menace podcast after this.
5 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's disease, and another 16 million husbands, wives, children, and friends are caregivers. But the right foods may help you prevent it. Vegetables, fruits, whole grains, beans, the same foods that fight diabetes and heart disease can also keep your brain strong and memory sharp. Let's eat right to fight Alzheimer's. Visit eattofightalzheimers.org.
Welcome back to the Purple Menace podcast. It's me, Jeff Craig, BJ Catalon, Billy Wessels, Matt Jennings, and now it's time to start talking about recruiting. Let's get back into this because TCU got a big commitment this week. Matt, tell us a little bit about defensive end Isaiah Chambers.
Yeah, Isaiah Chambers from MacArthur down in the Houston area where TCU's really just kind of been killing it during this recruiting cycle. One of the top-rated defensive ends in the state, if not the country, and had offers from just about everywhere. Had offers from Florida State, Georgia, Michigan, all the national powers and everything. And his top 5 ended up being TCU, Baylor, Texas A&M, and Washington. And
Which of these is not like the others?
He actually did have. He actually had the Houston hat out at his announcement as well. Houston's doing a lot better job of kind of recruiting top talent in their area as well. But it was just. Excuse me. It's a big commit for TCU for a bunch of reasons. They need depth at defensive end. It again is them kind of creeping into, kind of eating into kind of the recruiting base of some of these other bigger schools in the state that get the 4-star talent, that get maybe the most athletic guys and everything. And it's going to be huge for Gary Patterson's defense. Again, his MO has forever been taking the lesser recruited guys and kind of coaching them up and developing talent. And it's great for the program that now he's starting to get some guys who are already regarded as some of the top talent in the country, and then he gets to continue to mold and build on that.
How scary could this team be in 2 years, sticking with the class they're going to have this year, which could be probably by rival standards, this recruiting class is probably the best one they've ever gotten. And I think they're going to have 3, maybe 4. I mean, looking at a couple guys that are looking at going to TCU, could be 4 or 5 4-star guys. I don't think TCU's ever had that many before in a class as far as rival standards. What GP can do with this is just, mind-bending, considering how great he's been at taking 2 and 3 stars and turning them to studs, and now getting 4 and 5 stars. And just go, all right, well, they're basically 6 and 7 stars now if you put them in GP's class.
Yeah, and you forget about the JUCO guys that he brings in. I mean, you're bringing in some big receivers and another defensive end, Matt Basin. I mean, it's not just we're getting the freshman kids, but he's still getting a couple guys that have come in that have played at other Division I schools, or they've played a couple years of JUCO ball that are ready to come in and play right away. And that's the great thing about, as we've seen this year, he's had to do because of injuries, but plug and play. He gets guys who are ready. The players they recruit are ready to play.
And Chambers looks physically ready now. He's still a high school guy, but he is just a giant human being with even bigger hair, it looks like. But he's going to be a ball player. He's kind of like almost the same fanfare you got when you got Devontae Fields. I think Fields is maybe a little higher rated. I think Fields is actually the highest rated recruit, according to Rivals anyway, in the GP era. So this is kind of up in that mold, similar level talent they're getting from him, and yeah, this recruiting class just gets better and better by the week. It seems like.
The other thing with Chambers is by all accounts, Matt Clare at Lone Star Preps got to go down and cover the announcement on Friday, and shout out to him for all the awesome work that he does for Rivals.com as well. But got to go down and talk to Isaiah Chambers, and talking to him and talking to his coach, Matt Garza, the thing that kind of comes through is this is a kid who is saying all the right things and his mindset's already right. Some of these guys who are really highly recruited come in with a little bit of entitlement and come in with a little bit of, just believing that maybe they don't have to work as hard or not realizing exactly how hard they're going to have to work going in. And Coach Garza down at MacArthur was talking about, this is a kid who's humble, who gets it, who's going to be teachable, and once he gets under that TCU defensive coaching staff, they're going to be able to develop him. He's kind of raw as a pass rusher right now. That's really what he does. They're going to have to develop some other aspects of his game, but in terms of talent and in terms of the motor that he has, the thing that people bring up all the time when talking about Chambers, that's going to be the biggest thing for him. Having a guy who's not just talented but is willing to put the work in, that's going to be so huge to be for him to be able to be a huge contributor for this TCU defense.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait till signing day because I feel like this is kind of not even the tip of the iceberg when it comes to some of these recruits. I think last year TCU missed out on some of those top-tier guys, and this year I think they're going to get one or two of those guys.
Yeah, they've already, Chambers is their fourth four-star recruit by Rivals rankings in this year's class, which is going to be by far the most that they've ever had, and they've got their eyes on a couple more. Stephen Sullivan out of Louisiana, who has TCU in his top 6 right now.
Yeah, he's a wide receiver, but his other top 5 are. Was it LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Auburn, I think.
Right.
It's SEC teams and TCU. I think it's down to TCU and LSU. I really do think that.
LSU, who he was committed to initially, and now he's and he's reopened his commitment.
Yeah, I think
his recruitment since then.
I think he's going to wind up here. I really do. I felt that way.
You said
the
same thing about Dalen Mack, though.
Yeah,
so I'm not sure how much I believe what you have to say.
But Dalen Mack, thank you for questioning my credibility on my podcast. But Dalen Mack, I had a dream about him turning into a dinosaur. So think of that for whatever you will. I had a dream where he played for TCU. Turned into a dinosaur on the field and ate all the players for the University of Texas. So that was a really fun dream I had.
Yeah, and if you'd like to discredit Billy on everything, go to tcu.rivals.com so you can get on Hell's Half Acre and chat with us about who you think is going to be good and who isn't.
But going back to this for just a second, I don't mean to kill Billy. I'm just all in good fun. But legitimately, though, Chambers, their fourth four-star commit of this class, might get another one or two going forward, and that might make up a little bit for, with all these guys redshirting this year, they probably won't have as many scholarships to give out. We were talking about this a little bit before we went on air. They may be stuck at 18 to 21 probably scholarships for this, maybe instead of 25 like you would have liked to initially. But you're going to have a really, really talented class at the top with Chambers and with Taj Williams coming in from Iowa, and so Courtney Lark also from the Houston area, and so it's and Siwo Alonelua also from the Houston area. Curtis Looper also, shout out to him, getting things done down in Houston.
Yeah, Houston, man, shout out to Houston.
Hey, there you go,
killing it.
BJ loves it when when TCU's going after guys from back home for him.
I love all my Louisiana boys we keep getting too, so those are my best.
Houston, Texas, and Monroe, Louisiana.
Speaking of Monroe, one of the other guys we were talking about a minute ago, the 4-star Louisiana boys, one of them is Cameron Lewis, a Monroe guy, safety who is currently an LSU commit. He'll be here as well this weekend. He's from the same little town as Cavante Turpin. So just saying, if we see a Terp sighting this weekend, maybe something good happens. Just saying.
Fantastic. All right, well, that's going to wrap up recruiting. Again, check out purplemenace.com or tcu.rivals.com. Same exact thing. I like to just say Purple Menace because it sounds cooler. purplemenace.com. Go on there. I think Billy's doing a special right now on Rivals.
Yeah, so it's rivals.co/TCU4-0 or something like that. There's a link on the homepage. It's like right under the picture. Right now, it's actually Cavante Turpin on the front page. Below that, there's a picture. It says TCU's 4-0. Congrats, something like that. You click on that, you get the promo, or you get a free month membership. So
there you go. So you can get the first month free.
Yeah.
And you'll be hooked and you'll love it. And then we get paid more.
We do. Well,
and
I
so
get
we
paid
can
more.
keep doing.
And
Billy
then,
gets paid more, and then we get to keep doing the podcast.
Yeah.
And you get to keep listening to us.
And it's fun.
Yes. All right. So after we've wrapped up recruiting, now we're going to come back. We're going to talk about UT, the big game, homecoming, 11 o'clock this Saturday. Coming up next on the Purple Menace podcast.
Have you heard the buzz about West Nile virus? Protect yourself and your family from the mosquito bites that spread the virus. When you go outside, use mosquito repellent containing DEET. When possible, wear long-sleeve shirts and pants. And remove standing water around your home where mosquitoes breed. Anyone can become infected, but if you're over 50, you're at higher risk for severe disease or even death from West Nile virus. Remember, the best defense comes from things you can do yourself. Fight the bite. Tell mosquitoes to buzz off.
Welcome back to the Purple Menace podcast. Jeff Craig, BJ Catalon, Billy Wessels. It's time to talk about this weekend's game. 11 a.m. kickoff. Everybody's favorite.
That's
Homecoming.
So
it is so early. And it's homecoming. It kind of ruins it.
Mm-hmm. UT. I just want to drink like 3 pumpkin spice lattes and then go to the game. I think I can probably do that.
You could probably do that.
It's be early enough for it.
This is one of those things to where in the good old days, the teams would pick the times of the games, and homecoming would have been a 3 o'clock game or it would have been a 7 o'clock game. But now you're ranked 3rd or 4th in the country, and the networks get to pick, and ABC, hey, love them, but they decided they wanted this to be the 11 o'clock game.
Yeah, I mean, you really love ABC. They canceled one of my favorite shows of all time in Happy Endings.
I was going to say Boy Meets World.
Happy Endings is a great show, and it had a TCU reference in one of the episodes.
Never watched an episode.
It's a great show. I think it might be on Netflix now. Anyway, hilarious if you like that. If you like comedy.
Speaking of comedy,
I know you don't.
UT's coming in this weekend.
Yeah, there it is. Nice. I was thinking about finishing. Yeah, it's been kind of what has happened to the once proud Longhorns? Like, we were looking at somebody legit asked me the other day, was talking trash. He's a UT fan, which basically just means he's been to Walmart before. But he comes up to me, he goes, "Oh, how many national titles has TCU won?" I was like, 2. And he's like, "Oh yeah, well, how many does UT want to go?" "You're asking me how many your school has won? The one that you like and you wear the hat for every day?" He goes, "Yeah, we won like 9 of them." I go, "You won 4, like 4 national titles. One since you've been alive. The others were like in the 70s and then like the 50s before that." Mm-hmm. So since the Vince Young era ended, like what has happened to these once proud Horns?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I mean, they get their pick of the litter when it comes to recruiting.
They really do. They get nothing but 4 and 5 stars, and part of that I think honestly might be rivals just pumping them up, because it's clear if you look at the talent that TCU puts on the field and the talent that UT puts on the field, it's like, oh yeah, clearly TCU's got a better team. Oh, but TCU's got a bunch of 2 and 3 stars. But UT's got a bunch of 4 and 5 stars. How could that possibly be true?
Maybe it's ego.
Yeah.
I think ego's got a lot to do with it. And I'm looking at their roster. I just ran over this with BJ. Just ran through, that guy. Because following these guys for recruiting for a couple of years, 4-star, 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, 5-star, 4-star. Like, just going with this entire roster is just, it's insane the amount of stars they have. And it's like 1,000,000 times as many stars they have wins.
Yeah, well, I mean, and sometimes it's hard. You get a lot of good players, and you try to, make them gel, put them all on one team. But I mean, that doesn't always work. You can't.
You can only have one alpha.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to have a bunch of betas.
Yep. You only have one ball. I mean, only one ball to play with. And not everyone gets to touch it at the same time. Oh yeah, that got you, Jeff. It's like I thought with the freaking Miami Heat. There's only one ball. You can't have Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. There's only one ball to dunk at a time.
But that's 3 guys compared to 11.
Oh yeah, it's easier to make a Joe with like 3 or 5 guys playing for one ball. 11 for 1 versus 3 for 1. Mm-hmm. Ball special. But I think, but looking at just what these guys have, they should be so much better. And part of what we talked about a second ago with the recruitment process is that TCU doesn't get the entitled guys. They get the guys that were underrated, and GP's turning them into 4 or 5-star guys, versus UT seems to get these 4 and 5-star guys and turn them into 2-star guys.
Well, some of this might be that, if you were rated as a 4-star quarterback, you're probably going to go somewhere where they say, we want you to play quarterback. Mm-hmm. But if you were a 2-star athlete that played quarterback, Patterson and co. might say, you're going to be a wide receiver, maybe a safety, maybe a linebacker. I mean, we've seen guys,
and that's just Montrell Wilson this week.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, like Antonio Graves came to TCU as a safety, then he was a wide receiver, then he was a safety, then he was a linebacker, then he was a fullback, then he was a safety. Yeah. Like
Jordan Moore, he came safety, he played linebacker, he moved to running back, receiver,
wide receiver.
So
Were you always straight running back, or did they toy with you? I mean, you played some slot too, but they toy you anywhere else?
Nah,
just that.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna try to play nothing else. Unless it was a little cornerback.
I was going to say, if they said, BJ, we need you to start at corner this week.
A little bit. I would have tried to, do my best out there. So, Deontay, he's another
Deontay.
guy. We came from the same school, and he got here as a receiver, but he played corner. He actually played, took a few snaps in some games, started a game at corner. And, this last year he played receiver, and he's a guy who's, very versatile and can do different things like that.
I think it comes down to just the types of players you get. When you get the pick of the litter, I think you don't investigate as hard when it comes to looking into players and seeing if they're gonna fit your system.
Look at the stars, and I've always, and even though obviously we work for rivals, I've never been a fan of the stars. I just don't believe in it. I think solely because it's what I see with TCU and UT is the prime example of why I think stars don't matter at all. And rating in the current ranking system for college football teams don't matter at all. I think it's what you can put on the field when you need to put them on the field, and TCU puts the product out there that wins games, and Charlie Strong hasn't really done that at UT so far. And I don't want to say it's his fault. Like, I want to believe him to be a good coach, but because he's getting all these.
He inherited a lot of bad players.
He did, but now these are all his guys. Of course, these are all his guys that are freshmen and sophomores. So maybe give him 2 more years and he'll have a little powerhouse down there, but. Back to the once mighty Horns, they should be, but it doesn't seem like this is going to be their year again.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for them. And we were talking a little bit during the break of one key name that you're not even seeing a whole lot of was Jonathan Gray, the running back. He was an absolute stud, and he's played since his true freshman year, but he's not even the leading rusher on the team. He'd gotten bumped a couple years ago behind Bergeron and Malcolm Brown. So there were some talent there, but they really don't have anybody else at running back anymore. So what's the excuse?
They haven't had a guy at running back that's done outstanding in a while, maybe since Jamal Charles or something like that.
I was just say Jamal Charles, and then before that was Ricky Williams and Priest Holmes.
Yep.
Man, they put out some good running backs though. Just thinking about that, that's like a 10-year. That's a 10-year span of just studs. But since I guess when was that? Did Vince Young have a good running back?
He played with Jamal Charles a little bit.
So think about how bad, that was 10 years ago. Literally, that was 2005 when they won the national title of Vince Young, and they haven't done anything since.
No.
Have they won a Big 12 title since then?
Well, they went with Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy. They lost to Bama.
Yeah, they lost to Bama.
But Gilbert as the backup.
Oof. And then Colt McCoy said he couldn't feel his shoulder and he couldn't throw the ball.
Yeah,
but
so he took the rest of the game off.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah,
I always thought that was kind of an iffy little excuse that he made.
I thought it was more of a NFL pro type thing that he was looking ahead for.
Jeez.
So.
I'm glad you believe that too, because I've honestly thought there was some kind of conspiracy theory there.
Yeah, I thought he could have came back out and played, finished the game, but
dollar bills, y'all.
I wish I could do a Mac Brown impression. It's kind of a little Mac Brown. I think since we is this sounding all like Mac Brown?
No.
Okay. All right, I'll put that away. I'll put that voice away. I was trying to do a Mac Brown, but he's very soft spoken. He's like an old white Mike Tyson.
Without the lisp,
not as profound.
And the brain damage.
Yeah, I was going to say
probably less brain damage.
You probably would be okay asking him a question and him not you fearing that he was going to kill you.
Say? I'm going to stop.
Yeah. Okay, so we've established that UT.
We've established that they do the least with the most amount of talent.
Yes, and it's showing up on the field now because they've shot themselves in the foot.
At least their punter's good.
What? Is he?
That was a pretty sweet recovery. Sure, that didn't go well, but he could have just turtled on the ball and just given them an extra point.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Charlie's in there trying to make changes. He came in last year and he kicked a bunch of guys off the team right away, which sends a message, which I'm totally for. If you got a bunch of knuckleheads that don't want to do what they need to do, get them out of here and get some new guys in. But those were probably some of his most talented players, and then now you're seeing a lot of freshmen and a lot of sophomores out here trying to make plays, and maybe they're just not ready yet. And Swoop's got his chance, but, I was hoping he'd still be the quarterback, because then I know he'd win.
Well, yeah, then I would have picked an outrageous number.
Jared Hurd kind of scares me because he's another one of these quarterbacks that's a mobile quarterback, keeps plays alive with his legs, and then he can throw the ball downfield when he does keep it going.
And that does seem to be if TCU has a kryptonite, it seems to be the mobile quarterback being able to keep plays going a little bit longer, and maybe especially that'll help show these issues that TCU has in the secondary right now, keeping plays alive longer, making them hold coverage a little bit longer, that could be an issue.
Yeah, and Patterson said at the press conference that we just came from, he was talking about he may do things a little bit differently, not game plan wise, but leading up to the game, he may change the way he does some of this stuff because he felt like the guys were tired from chasing guys. Like in the fourth quarter, these guys were getting tired. So maybe give them a little bit of a break in practice, not run them as hard against the scout team as much as they've done before. It's going to help when, Davion Pearson's going to be healthier. Hopefully Josh Carraway is getting better every game. If Terrell Lathan can play, that's a huge boost.
Yeah, I think he didn't quite rule him out, but I'm not expecting to play this weekend.
He's pretty much saying no, and that sucks, but –
and no update on Kobe Listenby either. That's a little disheartening, but
yeah. But with hamstrings, I think you got to take your time on that because I'd rather lose him for 2 weeks than for the season because he comes out there too early and then really does damage to it.
Those bacon threads.
So, I mean, what do we? I mean, who are we really worried about on the UT side?
Like you said, that's right now their best player.
Just Jared Hurd, their quarterback.
That's the play.
I don't see anyone else. I don't see anyone else in that offense that scares me an awful lot.
Special teams wise, I don't think they do anything special.
They do a lot of things real special.
Well, yeah,
but
not the right kind of special.
Not the right way.
Special, huh?
More of the wearing a helmet special.
Yeah. Hey, wait, they do wear helmets though. But I mean, all these players that I see on their covering recruiting for so long, these are all guys like, oh man, this guy's so good. They went to the Rivals camp and they quote unquote showed out, as the kids say these days. They all looked so good then, but they put on the UT jersey, it's like kryptonite. Like Malik Jefferson's a stud. Like he's going to be a star. Like he's going to live up to the hype of the 5-star hype. But I mean, he's maybe the one guy on defense you're mildly worried about.
So, do they have a player? Do they have the defensive backs to be able to slow down the TCU offense? I just don't. I don't think they have enough pass rush. I don't think they have enough defensive backs to slow us down. I don't see how they've got some good linebackers like you're saying, but are they going to be able to do anything?
And I like John Bonney, their cornerback too. And they also got a fat boy touchdown last week. Was that Punta, whatever his name is? Punta Ford? Is that the guy that scored the touchdown? Did no one else see the fat boy touchdown? Puna Ford. No one saw the fat guy touchdown?
Nope.
That's the best play in all of football is fat guy touchdown. Whenever defensive tackle scores a touchdown, that's the best play in college football. But he had a scoop and score from like 30 yards out. It was hilarious.
Well,
they call it the Piesman instead of the Heisman. No one's seen the Piesman? Mm-mm. Oh, you boys need to live on the internet a little longer. Live on fat boy internet like I do.
Sorry, I don't get on YouTube and search fat guy touchdown.
Well, you should. Honestly, you should have this. It'll make your day a lot better.
Well, what's going to make my day a lot better is Saturday at 11 o'clock when they kick off and they come out here and smack the Longhorns around. Maybe they can shave them down a little bit and put UT in their place, make them 1-4, and everybody's going to start freaking out.
Like, they might not go to a bowl game this year. Like, I legit don't think they will, looking at their schedule. Because they've got this one. I mean, TCU should win this one. We're all picking, spoiler, we're all going to pick TCU to win this one.
Yeah.
So they're looking at 1-4. Then the Red River rivalry. I know weird stuff happens in that game, but Oklahoma's a better team there.
Yeah.
So I could see them being 1-5. Home for K-State, they should win that one. So there's 2-5 at Iowa State. They should win that, but they've had some weird games up in Ames lately. Yep. So let's go 3-5. They host Kansas 4-5. Then but that means you got to beat either West Virginia at West Virginia or Baylor at Baylor or Tech at home, and they could lose all three of those games. Yeah. This is gonna be a 4-8 team at best. We're looking at Texas.
Yeah.
Jeff Gray fist bumps.
I'm very excited about that.
I mean, I would take West Virginia Tech and Baylor to all beat them. Like, I think they could get a nice little run of K-State, Iowa State, and Kansas. But I think West Virginia Tech and Baylor are all better teams than them this year.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so to wrap up this segment, if they win less than 6 games this year, is Charlie gone?
I think so.
No, they're not gonna get rid of Charlie yet.
Not yet.
No, They
may give him another year or two just because that's
you got to let him get through his first recruiting class.
It's his second year. He's at least got to be 4 years. Yeah, like at least 4 years.
Yeah,
that's what we think.
If they don't,
now that the AD is gone,
yeah,
do you think he's out? I think he's out after this year, regardless.
After this year, regardless,
I think he's gone.
I just don't want to watch ESPN when that happens. That's all they're going to talk about.
Boosters, they didn't want Charlie Strong. They really thought they had Saban, so they had everything ironed out.
Are they going to get Saban now?
No, but I'm saying they thought
who are they going to get now? Urban Meyer,
Art Briles. Art Briles.
You know what? After he gets run out of Waco for what he should have already been run. He already should have been run out of Baylor for what happened in the last couple of months. Oh, that'd be really insufferable.
September 29th, 2015, Jeff Craig called Art Briles.
Head coach.
Will be the head coach of the University of Texas.
For 2016?
I can see that.
Yes.
I can see it too. That's sad. I can see
especially
it.
if Baylor wins the Big 12. If Baylor wins the Big 12, they will pay Art Briles whatever he wants.
I agree. I think so.
There we go. There's your UT
That's going to be
prediction.
real annoying.
We think TCU's going to win this week. We think UT's going to be bad. I've called Charlie Strong gone after this year.
Wow. I
We'll
think
see
he's
what
got 2
happens.
more years, but that's bold, and I can see it happening too.
Yeah. I can
All
see
right.
it.
When we come back, Matt will rejoin us after his bathroom break, and we'll do predictions right here on the Purple Menace
He
podcast.
poops a lot.
Hi, but not too high. This is George Carlin. I'm sitting here. I have on a yellow hat, a pink shirt, dark sunglasses, and an earring in my ear. And I'm going to tell you not to get into heavy drugs. Well, it sounds bizarre, I know, but there are other things to do with your life, other things to help you make it. Heavy drugs make it all worse, and they help you die.
Welcome back to the Purple Menace podcast. Jeff Craig, Matt Jennings, BJ Catalon, Billy Wessels. See how I'm going in a different order every time we come back from a little break?
Try not to keep any of us from getting too big ahead from
Yeah.
always being listed first. So that's good.
I mean, I'm always first because I talk. I get
The
to bring us
most.
back. The most.
Mike Hogg.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so last week's predictions, we voted. I win.
We
Because
did
I
vote.
said
You called Aaron Green.
Aaron Green, I said he was going to run for 167 and 2 touchdowns. He ran for 162 and 2 touchdowns. That was pretty close.
It
And
was close.
And if
pulled
you
off
throw
a
in
little
the
baby Jesus
if
play
you
at the
throw
end.
in the 4-yard reception, I'm only a yard off in his total yardage.
Shout out to Carlos Mendez also, who said during the press conference after that game, making a little joke at Aaron. So he's like, okay, Aaron, so 2 catchers for 4 yards. How'd you feel about your performance today? Like making a joke. It was pretty funny.
That's funny.
Wow. That's like the funniest thing Carlos Mendez has ever done.
Whoa, hold on.
He's very dry.
He is.
I like Carlos, but he is very
He
dry.
is.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that like,
We asked him to come on the podcast. He's like, no.
yeah, not,
I do what I do every Tuesday. I work.
not really his
Supposed
thing.
to
All right,
us.
Carlos.
Well, all right. So predictions this week. We've got UT.
You get to go first since you won.
I do get to go first. We are at home. I think the spread was 18.5. It's somewhere. I think Matt was saying it might be 15 or something now. I think they are going to cover it because I don't think this UT offense is that good.
Nope.
They've been close their last 2 games and they shot themselves in the foot, special teams wise. Right now, I think they're a little rattled on that, but they made the quarterback change. Hurd is better than Swoops, but that doesn't say a whole lot. I mean, that gives me no confidence. And their leading rusher is their quarterback, who's been the starter for 2 weeks. So I don't see a whole lot coming from that. So my prediction is TCU 52 and Texas 27. They'll get 27 because there's going to be mistakes made. Guys will break plays. My player of the game, linebacker Traven Howard.
Okay.
I think he'll have at least 3 tackles for loss, and I'm going to give him half a sack.
All right.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with.
All
Traven
right.
Howard.
Cool.
Am I going next?
I was gonna go if you.
All right, go Matt. Go,
All right.
Young Matthew.
I agree. I think the line for this game, I think we're still suffering a little bit from kind of like believing in the aura around Texas, and so that kind of affects the way we look at them. Like this Texas team is like defensively has regressed since last season. Offensively, hasn't done. I mean, they've averaged 37 points a game since switching play callers, but that's been against Rice and against Cal and against an Oklahoma State team that's looked decent this season, but not amazing. So my score predictions, I'll go with 66 to 30. No.
Did you say 66 to 30?
66 to 30.
What? That's the kind of stuff I normally say. What's wrong with you,
I say
Matt?
that because of this. I think TCU's offense is gonna have no problems moving the ball against Texas. I think Texas is gonna struggle moving the ball for most of the game, then gets a like a garbage time touchdown late to make it look a little bit more respectable. It's like they score about 2 touchdowns through the first 3 quarters, and then a late touchdown makes it look a little bit better.
I saw you doing math a second ago, and I did not think that was the number you're going to pull out of your rear end.
Here's the other thing. My player, and here's the thing that gives me confidence that TCU is going to roll in this game. Texas is tied for number 1 in the country in red zone efficiency. They've scored every single time they've gotten in the red zone, but they've only gotten in the red zone 9 times through 4 games, as opposed to TCU, which has gotten in the red zone 25 times through 4 games. So I think Texas is going to have trouble moving the ball on any sort of consistent basis. Player of the game, give me Trevon Boykin with 400 yards passing and 3 touchdowns passing and a rushing touchdown. Here's another fun fact for you. Trevon Boykin, if TCU wins on Saturday, it'll be the first time TCU has taken 3 of 4 against Texas since 1961. And it'll be the first time that TCU has won 2 in a row against Texas since 1959.
Wow.
Nice.
Look at you.
Okay,
Throwing
so
smart bombs.
yeah, you've given us all those interesting facts. It's
Bunch
like you
of
got some type
numbers and
of
nuggets.
some type of notes or something in front of you about TCU.
Are you little Mark Cohen?
Well, the last time that...
Are you like Rain Man?
I'll just throw out something about,
Since
TCU's
Rice.
record against Rice is
Yeah.
34-23-1. There's always throwing in a tie. You always have to throw in a tie,
Always
too.
a tie versus Rice.
Here, I got a number for you that's right off the top of my head. Texas leads the series 62-22-1.
Yeah, that's bad.
See, there is a tie.
That's why it's been so long since TCU's
Well,
won
they
2
won
straight.
1 million Southwest Conference titles and only 3 Big 12 titles. So
That's true.
that's
If Baylor wins the Big 12 this year, they will have as many Big 12 football titles as
Or
Texas.
if
Fun
TCU
fact.
wins this year, they'll only have 1 less, and they've been in the Big 12 for 3 years. I think that's a better stat.
That is. Okay, so I don't know whose prediction next is going to be more bold, so I don't know if I want to go with BJ next or Billy
Go
next.
BJ next.
Is 60 point? No, really.
No,
like
Matt's
60
the
points,
most bold.
55 points for TCU's offense on the road in Lubbock. You really think 66 points at home against a bad Texas defense? Is that ridiculous?
I don't think the defense is that bad. It's bad, but it's not that
They
bad.
gave up 45 to Cal. They gave up
Cal's
32
legit. They're the fourth best team in California.
BJ, what do you think is going to happen?
BJ, go with the
I'm gonna say TCU, of course. 49, Texas, 24. I'm gonna say player of the game. I'm gonna say Trevon Boykin as well. I'm gonna say 465 passing yards, four passing touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown.
Okay.
Okay.
that seems like probably the closest one out of all of these. It's actually going to happen.
See,
I hope so.
See, I almost want to go believable. I was thinking something crazy like Matt, but then
I don't
started
think mine
thinking
is that crazy.
You want to go
kinda
crazy?
crazy.
Don't.
You want to go crazy, Billy? Pick,
I'm not gonna go
Jarrison Stewart with 200 yards receiving.
And watch that happen.
JK Stu could have a big day. No, I'm gonna be reasonable with the score anyway.
Okay.
TCU wins 45-17.
Okay.
It's very boring, but I just think that's what's going to happen. I think Texas is still a decent team. They play in most of their games, even though they're not really in a 45-17 game. But I think it's better. I think TCU's going to be fine. They're going to come out. They're going to win. They're going to take care of their business early, close up shop pretty early in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And Texas is going to play. I don't know. Okay, their offense will be good enough. Hurd will play the entire game since he's still young. So they get a couple late scores and make it look good. I'm going to take Josh Caraway as my player of the game. Oh. I think he's going to have a fire lit on him after some iffy calls last week, and one of them was really bad. One of them he should not have done, but the other one was really ticky-tacky. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say 3 sacks, 7 total tackles, and 2 forced fumbles for Josh Caraway.
Okay.
There you go. See?
I like it.
Yep.
I like it. Make sure you let us know your predictions. Find us on Twitter at TCU_rivals. I am at Jeffrey, GEOFFREY _Craig, CRAIG.
I'm at Matt A. Jennings.
At Billy Wessels.
I'm at Ben _Jamin 23.
Hey.
The coolest one in here, by far.
Well, he's the youngest, so he can still
You're
be
right.
young.
He's a little baby. You survived your 21st birthday. Last time you were on the show, it was the day before your 21st.
Yeah,
so.
I survived. I'm here, and I'm
Did you
feeling
do
great.
Did you do anything fun or?
I did We're gonna wait till
the mics go off.
Yeah.
I did.
No, I had a great time. No.
I did have fun, but I'm not going to tell y'all what I did.
That's fun.
All right, so find us on Twitter. Let us know your predictions, your player of the game. Also, check out purplemenace.com. Get on there, get that first month free. Go over to Hell's Half Acre. Let us know your predictions over there. You'll find all of us.
Tell me what offensive things I said this week.
Yeah, because Billy always says, if you find anything in the podcast that you don't like, make sure you
It's
tweet
usually
at
something I
Billy
said.
Wessels
It's usually something I said.
and let him know.
Tag me in it.
There you go.
And tag BJ because he wants to be included in all this too. All right, guys, let's get on out of here. I like to end on a high note with a little Purple Haze. Can't go wrong with Jimi Hendrix.
No, you cannot.
Makes the day great. We are the Purple Menace Podcast. For BJ, for Matt, for Billy, I'm Jeff. We'll talk to you next Tuesday when the Frogs roll in at 5-0.
Oh.
Find the podcast on iTunes, on Podomatic, and on YouTube. Put up a little video thing. I'm going to take some pictures of us when we get out of here. Put those on there so you can put faces to the people you want to punch in the face.
I'm BJ Catalon.
All right, we'll talk to you guys next Tuesday. We're out.